What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here with another edition of What's Happening in Men's Fragrance. Today we're going to be taking a look at, I think overall a total of 5 different fragrances. However, 3 of them are going to be released in tandem, and that's the 3 Mercedes-Benz fragrances. If you haven't heard of, that's the Land, Sea, and Air. We're going to be talking about those. Plus, we've got a brand new Halloween Man. That's what I'm most excited about. And we'll be talking about a brand new Bentley fragrance in the Bentley Beyond collection. So I've got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Triple F. That's fragrance fans, friends, and family. It's hard to say all at once, so I'm just going to say Triple F from now on. No, I'm not going to say that. That's weird. Anyway, super happy that you stopped by today because this is another edition of What's Happening, What's New in Men's Fragrance. And what is new? Jesus Del Pozo is behind a lot of really good releases, not the least of which is Halloween Man. Probably the best known releases, Halloween Man, and all of the flankers that followed. Probably the most hyped is, of course, Halloween Man, the kind of coffee-esque signature scent for men. But as has been noted, what's most interesting is all of these releases have been eau de toilettes. There's never yet been an EDP or eau de parfum release. Now that's going to be changed with this new release, Halloween Man Mystery. It's actually going to be an eau de parfum release. I personally really dig the idea behind this fragrance because it has to do with freedom and your motorcycle. And I'm telling you guys, if you've never been on a motorcycle, man, you're missing out because there is no freedom quite like that which you can find on a motorcycle. Your motorcycle is your only partner. Enjoy the journey. Your mantra is let life flow. No acceleration at your own speed. So there you have it. You're on a motorcycle and you are just simply cruising and relaxing for the scenery. It's not about being an adrenaline junkie. It's not about speed. It's about going about life at your own pace on your bike. And I like that because I've definitely burned up a lot of road on motorcycles throughout my life. The essence of Halloween Man Eau de Parfum is going to be revealed in a black opaque bottle that allows the contents to become a mystery to be discovered. Coppery details on the presentation reflect the luxury of simply being yourself, an aromatic fruity mood created by Nicolas Baliou using sexy and mysterious notes. For the first time, Halloween Eau de Parfum is concentrated to seduce the most elegant and mysterious men. Wait a minute, is it seducing us, or by wearing it are we seducing others? Its classification is pretty broad. It is an aromatic, fruity, woody fragrance, with top notes of black pepper, lavender, and mandarin, with heart notes of hazelnut, Egyptian geranium, and a cosmo fruit molecule. Resting on a base of Indonesian patchouli, patchouli extract, and concentrated vetiver. So there you have it, black pepper, lavender, and mandarin, so spicy, lightly fruity opening there. In the heart, you've got geranium, something called cosmo fruit, and then hazelnut, just to add a bit of a nutty mediation there. And then in the base, you've got a couple of different patchoulis, so it's definitely going to be kind of a rustic earthy or green earthy or smoky earthy, and then of course your vetiver. It is a bit of a mystery in terms of what it might really smell like, so it's going to be exciting to get a hold of it. As Halloween Man's first EDP or eau de parfum, I anticipate it coming out in both 50 and 60 ml likely, or potentially, and 100 ml bottle, of course. The next new release is from Mercedes-Benz, and it's really a trio of fragrances. It kind of reminds me of the Azzaro Solarissimo collection. You remember that? There's Maritimo, Lavanzo, and Favignana, the 3 different fragrances that represent 3 different islands. These are even kind of broader, I guess, concepts as to what they're representing. They're part of the campaign from Mercedes-Benz that is the Land, Sea, and Air campaign. Now, these fragrances are for men. There are no unisex fragrances in these trio, it's just for men. Each of the 3 fragrances in this iconic trilogy is built on a floral, woody, patchouli base. This new fragrance trilogy is going to focus on the power of the elements. Of course, land being the first element that we're going to be discussing, we know it's going to be a solid release. Crickets, that was a pun. Anybody? Its classification is that of a woody fragrance. The new fragrance evokes a powerful blend of warm, woody notes of patchouli and mesmerizes with an addictive rush of cocoa shell, completed by a chic touch of orris and tonka. It's going to be available in 60 ml and 100 ml, and it is an eau de parfum concentration. All of these are. I'm fairly certain this is going to be a solid release for those of you that didn't get the pun the first time. So now that we've discussed in brief Land, and this is actually one I think I'm going to be interested in checking out for sure. Well, actually the whole trilogy, but Land in particular, I think is going to be really good. Next up, the element we're going to consider is Mercedes-Benz Sea. Mercedes-Benz Sea's classification is, of course, an aquatic woody fragrance featuring top notes of tangerine, the heart note of violet leaves, with base notes of seaweed, a marine accord, and patchouli. Sea evokes a blend of freshness between mandarin and green notes, complemented by the elegance of a marine accord. Immerse yourself in a unique olfactory identity by layering Land with Sea and Air. From the 3 spectacular fragrances, you can realize 7 singular possibilities, each evoking its own universe. These fragrances are meant to be layered. That kind of concerns me a little bit, because a lot of fragrances that are made to be layered one with the other are quite weak. It's just kind of how they're made, and when you layer them together, they create some form of strength in terms of performance, but individually their performance may be lacking. I'm hoping that's not the case with these, being that they are eau de parfum concentrations. That may not be the case, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. I definitely think it's fun to layer, and it's fun trying to come up with different variations on a theme. All right, we've covered Land, we've covered Sea. The final element to cover in this trilogy is Air. So of course, if Sea is an aquatic fragrance, you can assume that Air is going to be an ozonic fragrance. The new fragrance evokes a combination of natural green notes to give the impression of breathing fresh air. So they say with 3 fragrances, you can get up to 7 different variations on that theme. So 7 different smelling fragrances. So I guess you could think in terms of, if you bought the trilogy, all 3 of them, it would almost be like buying 7 different fragrances. I don't know if I buy that necessarily, whether I believe that to be the case, but we'll just have to kind of experiment and see once they come out to answer that. And I'll definitely do that for you guys. Mercedes-Benz Air classification, oddly enough, is that of a floral woody fragrance featuring top note of mugwort, a heart note of angelica, with base notes of curcuma and patchouli. Curcuma is like curcumin or turmeric, so it's kind of like the smell of a spicy orange-ish kind of smell. So that's what curcuma is. So that's what's going to be in the base of Air, along with the patchouli that's in the base of all of them. The last new release we're going to take a look at, I'm also kind of stoked about because I own several of the Bentley Beyond collection. Bentley, of course, another car manufacturer. Yes, that's right. Mercedes-Benz has some great fragrances. Bentley also has a really good luxury line in the Bentley Beyond collection. The Bentley Beyond collection has some amazing fragrances. I'm privileged to own several of them. I've even smelled some that I don't own that are just amazing, and I definitely want to get all of them one day. But this one in particular, this new release, sounds like it's going to be a great entry in the lineup, and it is Bentley Beyond Magnetic Amber, an amber-oriented fragrance. Now, just like all of the Bentley Beyond collection, it is a unisex fragrance, so it can be worn by both men and women. In my experience, there are some that kind of lean more towards one side, one gender over the other. For example, the Majestic Cashmere, while it definitely can easily be worn by women, to me it has a little bit of roughness that is more reminiscent of men's fragrance than it is women's. Magnetic Amber may be similar. It may lean more towards masculine than it does feminine, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Intriguing, delicious, and addictive. Magnetic Amber, an olfactory journey to the heart of Panama's best kept secrets, its amber rums, its soft woods, and its delicate petals. Magnetic Amber's classification is that of a spicy, woody fragrance characterized by its blend of exotic spices. At the top, the warm notes of rosemary are stimulated by refreshing bergamot. The fragrance then reveals a gourmet heart with olibanum and cardamom oils. In the base notes, cedar wood combined with vanilla and tonka bean make this fragrance irresistible. Sounds really good. If you are a fan of any of the Bentley Beyond collection and you've been awaiting the new releases, be on the lookout for Magnetic Amber. I think you're going to really like it. I'm definitely looking at more of a rummy, amber, spicy, woody addition to the whole lineup there. Well, guys, that's it for the announcements of what's happening in men's fragrance. There's a lot more out there that's coming out. I'll be getting into those in the near future, but that's all we're going to cover today. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do appreciate you stopping by to check out this edition of what's happening in men's fragrance. Guys, thanks so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm going to do a really big 20K giveaway, so be on the lookout for that announcement. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.